Hi everybody, welcome back to this channel. Checking in. Today is a lovely Thursday. So usually I have vlogs on Mondays and Thursdays, so this will be Friday. So I am trying to have a video every day if I could. So because 2025 is fastly approaching, and usually people like to talk about New Year's resolution, what are your vision, goals, and I am revisiting this book by the lovely Dani Johnson. And this book was given to me by a lovely friend of mine that she probably think I needed to read this book. And this book it has so many things that is practical when it comes to money. So the title of this book is First Steps to Wealth. Okay, so wealth, of course, for many of us could mean lots of money. Living in a big house, living in a mansion, driving Mercedes-Benz, Tesla, or Lamborghini, whatever floats your boat. But in this book, actually, it all talk about what wealth is really about. So wealth could be defined as having a successful career, you're happy, even though you may not have a lot of money, but you have the love of your life, family is getting along, there's peace in your life, and you can eat more than 3 times a day. And that is wealth for people. Some people could say wealth for me is being healthy, that I am actually living my life, accomplishing whatever it is. And I'm probably going to just give you some of the things that I have captured and learned along the way. And one of the things are the laws of success. She's thinking about how do we think differently than the rest of the 98%ers. This book says only 98%ers, not only 2%ers rather, are rich. Okay, they don't think like the 98%. So basically, the population is huge. We are about 7 point something billion in this world, and the 2%ers, which are the rich, the wealthy, the opulent, the people that are not like us, the average Joe, they think differently. Why do they think differently? Because they approach life in a different way. And so this is why the book, if you really want to know where you're going, and I really think in my life that we really have to take a look of what we're doing in our lives, because if we don't usually assess our life like I usually do before 2025, every year when the year ends, I usually like to keep a journal and ask myself the question, have I accomplished the things that I said I would? It's easier to say I want all of these things to do, all of the to-do list, the goals that you have set, and then eventually when you look back on your journal, you're disappointed that you actually did not achieve any of them. As I said, be realistic. Maybe list 2 things that you are going to focus on. Stop having 10 goals that you're not going to be able to achieve it, So anyhow, this book talks about the mindset, because as many of us would like to have goals and dreams in life, it all comes down to our brain, our minds. Our brain, of course, is the physical. It is the motherboards. It is the control tower. Our thoughts. Okay, so the brain is the physical, the thoughts is actually trying to govern it, the control tower. Whatever you think, whatever you focus on, as you probably would have heard it, you will magnify. Whatever you focus, it will going to multiply. So ask yourself the question, how is your mindset lately? Your mindset has been programmed. Like many of us in this world, we have been taught as a child, we have been conditioned as a child based on our upbringing, our society, our culture, whatever it is. It's all about what you believe. It is your mindset. It's how you were taught as a child. If you were told that you are going to be a loser and you're never going to amount up to anything, and the book also said that maybe if your parents were poor, most likely you're going to be poor, broke, fat, and ugly. And this woman, just like many of us, she really had a very hard life, like me too. I had a book that was published in 2019. The link is down below. I have written about my life story of the struggles that I have endured. And this woman too, she was abused, sexually abused, mentally, physically. She was shoved and kicked and really physically abused by her stepfather. She thought the whole time that the father who raised her was her biological father. It ended up it's actually her stepfather. And she also had been through so much things in this life that you would have thought that she would never survive. So in the end, because she decided to change her mindset, there was a man that came into her life, and one day she met this man and his name was Ed, asked her a question. What is your goal? What are your goals in life? What would you like to do? Now, of course, many of us could not possibly answer that on top of our head, because who really talks about goals anyway? We go to school and none of us really have goals. Nobody teaches us about, creating goals for yourself, or what would you like to be when we grow up. We were told this conventional way of go to school, get some degree, because that's what your dad said or your mom said. And then we just follow this a way of thinking. Everybody thinks the same. We just have this thing about our society, but we never really question things. We never shake the status quo. Because if ever you do, people might look at you like you're crazy, right? So people who are dreamers, who are visionaries, who usually change the world, of course, they are deemed crazy. Just, as Elon Musk was once told that he's a crazy man for thinking about having an electric car. All the people that have been innovative and created things that are out of this world. And so this woman says one of the things that you want to change and to have a goal is to have mindset. The law of success, it starts in our head. You have to really control your thoughts and really watch it. And much of it are, as I said, it's the habitual pattern of what you've been thinking in the past and the things that you were taught. So, of course, you cannot really catch it in a net, because our thoughts produces about 70,000 thoughts per day, according to the scientists or the research. I really don't know what they do. Like, do they just sit down and count how many thoughts? So apparently, according to the research, it shows that 70,000 thoughts per day. So mind you, you cannot really capture all of the things that you've been thinking about, but at least pay attention to what is the theme or the ongoing process about your mindset of maybe you talk yourself out into something. So maybe one of the things that you have told yourself that I'm going to do something different this year. And because people around you, and she also said about the people, the influence also matter, not just our mindset, but the people around you. Maybe they talk you out into pursuing your dream. Maybe at some point in your life, you want to be a singer, a writer, an actress, an actor. I don't know what it is that you want to do with your life. Figure it out. But maybe you have allowed people, the world around you, your friends, colleagues, your family members, they are the worst kind of people sometimes, because they are not the people that usually see your vision, because they are so familiar with you. They have seen you doing the same thing over and over again and nothing really happens. So probably if you tell them about your dreams, they might say you are just full of yourself. So this is why as much as we want to work in our mindset and try to figure out what are the same old pattern, maybe I've been believing a lie that somebody told me I'll never mount up to anything, so therefore I will make that as my own identity. I'm going to, just keep it as if that's actually the end of my life. And if you're not careful, as I said, if you don't control your thoughts, and then you're going to let other people dictate how you live and how you pursue your dream, eventually everybody's just going to live miserable, fat, ugly, and broke. That is how the system works. For many of us, that's why people are imprisoned, because we have to really tackle these things. These are like the things of the world that people usually don't want to deal with. And that's why they say, I don't want to do this anymore. This is too hard. I can't really pass through the hurdles in life. I cannot go pass through the obstacles because my mama said so, my daddy said so, my brother said so, that I'm just going to live like this, whatever it is. As I said, it's not an overnight success. I'm still building. It is what it is. It's just you have to build slowly but surely. There's no such thing as a shortcut in life. If somebody tells you that I have a magic formula, a magic one that right away you're gonna see results, you probably is not gonna, longevity wise, it's not gonna last. It's like a brick by brick. If you are the one who's gonna try to build something, you gotta be patient with it. It takes faith, consistency. It takes a lot of hard work, determination. You cannot possibly just have an overnight success and hope that everything will be fine tomorrow morning. Like anything in life, when the foundation is not built properly, I'm pretty sure it's gonna collapse eventually. When the foundation is based on a sinking sand, you know that that foundation is not stable. It is not resilient. It will probably going to crumble in a few years. Okay, so this is why if somebody tells you I have a formula, this is a quick fix, better be careful of who you listen to. And she also talks about your vision matters. People said that, well, the Bible said a man without a vision, he or she will perish. It didn't say a man or a woman without money, you will perish. A man, a woman without vision. What is vision? Vision, as I said, it could probably be goals and dreams that you have been dreaming as a child. Do you know when you were a child, you were invincible? You thought that you could be a Superman, a woman, that you could fly, have a cape, right? Nobody really questioned those things, and people just look at you like you're so cute for having those dreams. However, when responsibility comes, we grow up and we become an adult, we have bills to pay, we got married, we have children. For some reason, we talk ourselves out into dreaming again. And when we look at our dream and people, we shared it to them, they look at like, what's wrong with you? But because we have forgotten, as Jesus would say, keep your childlike spirit. I really think that when Jesus said that, childlike spirit is never stop dreaming. Never stop pursuing your goals. Whatever it is that God had innately had given you in your core, that is probably God had called you to do. This is something that vision usually perishes along the way because we allow society, our family members, our culture to dictate of what it is that we're meant to do in this world. So therefore, as a reminder that you probably should take the time to follow the dreams that you've always wanted to do. Of course, you cannot be irresponsible and just quit your job or completely abandon the things and you cannot afford to pay off your debt or whatever it is. It is something, of course, with wisdom. You need to have vision, but you also have to be wise, and be discretion is, of course, advised, because without those things, you cannot just be responsible and you have nothing to pay your bills or whatever it is that you're trying to do. So this is why it's important that as we go through the process of living for the dreams and the visions that we want to achieve in this life, we also have to be careful not to listen to the wrong voices. Another thing, and I'm going to go here because my son is almost out from the school, is that take accountability and responsibility. No one is going to knock at your door and going to push you to do something that is extraordinary. All right? Do not wait for someone, I don't know, the government, your cheerleader squad team is going to say, knock, knock, I will be here to cheer you on. No one's going to do that for you. Because I have waited before and nobody came. I thought my rich uncle is going to rescue me and sweep me off my feet and pay off my debts. Okay, pay off my debt. Nobody did. So when I was in college, I was in debt. I had at least $20,000 worth of credit card debt that I have managed to pay off. But I waited. I had this mindset that I'm just not going to pay it because maybe one day my rich uncle is going to knock at my door and says, I'm here to pay off your debt. Nope, nobody came. My rich uncle never existed because there's really no rich uncle. And my grandfather didn't exist too because, you know, my family came from not a so-called rich family. But that's a different story. But anyhow, I had to pay it off. Every penny, every cent. Because nobody came. So take responsibility. And that is why you cannot allow, as I said, your mindset, do not allow people to dictate how you live your life. And then finally, take responsibility. Because if you are just going to say, well, I can't do this because whatever excuse that you have in your mind, I'm too short, I'm too ugly, I'm too fat, I am too, I'm too young, or I'm too old. You have heard this before. Excuses are nothing but it's your way of justifying the things that you don't want to do. We all have excuses. I have excuses not to go on a diet or eating healthy, right? It's all about how do you treat your goals really? Do you really treat it seriously, or you just could live without it? If you could just live without it, fine, whatever, do whatever you please. But if you really want to pursue something, no matter what people say, you're going to be unstoppable. All right, tell them, get out of my way, otherwise I'm gonna bulldoze you, or get out of the way, otherwise you're going to just be, you know, out of my the way that I have to really get out. I have to put you out if I have to. So these are the things that you really have to think for yourself, because nobody will teach you about this unless you read books like this one. And I'm revisiting the book because it really motivates me. When you forget about your dreams and goals, and sometimes the going is hard, there must be a book that is gonna make you motivated again. Every time you open it, you're like, yep, I know I can do this, even though it seems impossible. But with God, all things are possible. And lastly, bonus point is that faith. All you need to do is faith in your dreams, faith in your vision, faith in yourself, and that is how you're going to the formula. And the verse that actually I've been meditating upon this verse, and it's found in James. As I was going through this, I said, God, what is the verse that I have to concentrate this year? And it's James 1:6. Let him ask in faith with no doubting, because doubting is like a wave of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. So if you are asking for something, make sure that you keep all the faith, and you have to get rid of doubt. I know it's easier said than done, because doubt is part of the process. There are days that we're going to doubt ourselves. There are days that we're going to doubt our dreams. There are days that we're going to doubt our capacity, our capabilities. But at the end of the day, we must be always to guard our thoughts. And so that is all that I would like you to think about in the coming 2025, God willing. And so dream big. Might as well dream big. The world is your oyster, and make sure that when you dream big, it has to be realist. It has to be realistic. It has to be your own dream, not based on what people tell you or whatever their opinions, because you cannot afford to live other people's dream. It's sad to see that many people miss out on the greatest opportunity, their purpose in life and their calling in life, because they're living out based on their mama's agenda or their papa's. You know, this is exactly what you should supposed to be. Deep down inside, you know exactly what you're here to do and what you're meant to do in this world. And it will be such a disaster, a disservice to yourself and to people around you of not using that talent that God has given you. Okay, so that is all. I will see you on my next video. If you have not done so, please feel free to share, like, subscribe on my channel.